Hello, Sagittarius, and welcome to your August 2023 Psychic Scope. I'm your reader, Amy Burgoyne. Welcome today. Thanks for stopping by. Intuitively, it feels to me that this last month and probably into August could be a little ripply for you. And some of you are coming into this month feeling maybe restricted or having a lot of fear and anxiety, but for whatever reason, I am feeling that this is blocking you. So I think it's maybe time to take a good look at what this fear is, where it comes from. It's rising right now, and of course, when anything rises, all it's doing is asking to be released. And there is something to be said for just letting your body take over and release as it needs to. Some of you may be dealing with some court or legal issues right now, and I feel as if, you may be looking at having to be held a bit of accountable on some level, and depending on what you're there for, obviously depends on the length of time that you're looking at. So let's go ahead and draw the first card here, Sagittarius. I have the Eight of Swords, and the decks I'm working with today are the Intuitive Tarot, Women of the Woods deck, and also the Spirited Living Rider-Waite deck. I have created both of these decks, and neither of them are for purchase at this time, but go ahead and subscribe if you're interested, and I'll keep my listeners posted on when they are on my website. So the Eight of Swords. This is kind of what I was just talking about. This card is looking at representing some sort of consequences happening. I also feel as if some of you may have been silenced or powerless, and I do feel that coming up over the next fall, throughout the fall, that some of you are actually going to be able to get your voice heard on some matters. Some of you, of course, like I said, if you're looking at court or any time, at any time, then, depending on the involvement, really, I think you're not going to look at anything worse than what your level of involvement would be. It also feels like some of you are dealing with some of this because there's been some sort of suppression and or feeling trapped. So it does feel to me like this could be domestic on some level for some of you. It's kind of saying like, with this card, you can basically walk away at any time. So if you're not yet facing this kind of court legal kind of thing, it's a good idea to just walk away. Just walk away. Walk away. It could be scary, but it's going to be worth it. So let's take a look at the next card. And here we have ancestral wisdom. It says there is no disconnect from your lineage. Even the past asks you to look at what is fair and just, even in your everyday life. You have the choice and wisdom to become a free and awakened state of consciousness in your own body. This is it. You definitely have permission to step into that. It is a birthright for you being a part of the energy here on this planet and the energies that your ancestors have played. So for some of you, you are definitely ending a lot of karmic ancestral, they're saying like there's been collateral and now that's kind of going. But I do feel that you're going to have to make, of course, a choice that could be very difficult. So let's take a look at the next card, and that is the Three of Swords. Okay, so some of you are listening to this, and this definitely means that you've gone through some sort of grieving process. This could be betrayal, and like I said, this could be domestic situation, because I'm seeing a lot of sorrow and upset, feeling confused, but I feel like you're really coming to terms with where you're at. And for some reason, I'm also feeling that now you have the time to take that you need to remove yourself and or your energy from the situation almost completely. So, and for some of you, this is saying, okay, take the time and experience your loss and your grief and this deep emotional womb that you have going on. And you take the time. I don't care if the grief isn't from a loss of a life. You can grieve on so many different levels. So they're saying, it's time to kind of step away. It's time to heal your heart, to mend your heart. And, I think in the end, you're going to look back on this in another 5 years and say, man, look what I was capable of. And I'm going to tell you, once you start walking away from the situation, whatever here is bringing you confusion, it's going to be like this energy, this faucet just turns on, and this information will just start flooding through you. So I do feel for a lot of you, you are empaths. You've been through some really hard stuff because you feel things on a different level. You feel them vibrational. So it actually gets into your core. So it is time to release whatever it is that's not working for you. And if this is relationship wise for you, I think it's fair to say maybe looking at it and seeing it from all angles. For somebody out there, I need to say one of your partners has done significant growth, and you can only work with what life gives you, and then you try to grow on that depending on your situation. So for some of you, this may not be the end of a relationship, but this could be just coming to a nice meeting place and meeting ground within that. So let's pull the next card and see what it says here. And this card is joy and inspiration. So dance and sing like no one is watching. Move yourself to a heightened state of being while releasing blockages. Movement is valuable to flow in this third dimension. So for some of you, it's going to be a total change of pace, and it's like dancing in the rain. Okay, so you are being asked to make some difficult choices. I think, your wisdom of your ancestors come into play. You've really changed a lot about yourself, I think, even within the relationship, however this feels to you. And I think that, and I also, I feel also that, doing all of this hard work and dealing with some of the things that life throw at you, I think that in the end, you're going to find some joy and inspiration, but you definitely have to release things. So that could be a physical relationship, but it could also be a trauma or, something that has, had a negative effect on you, and maybe it's been 30 years and you can't let it go. I think coming into September, you're going to feel like it's time because you can't hold it within your energetic field anymore. So Sagittarius, this feels like it's been quite an emotional process, and, just be prepared that it could be, but know that nothing good comes if we can't move those emotional and energetic things around within our field of receiving. It's gonna feel horrible at times, okay? But it would feel more horrible if we just continue to stay in that energy. So bring something in that gives you joy and inspiration. Do something healthy to get your body going and your mind going, and move your body like no one is watching. All right, Sagittarius, hang in there, and I will catch you next month. Much love.